evening in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the page 69. So the conversation that Sri Ramakrishna was having with some of the very educated, and the maid was and very interesting. Bunky was not and he was not ready to accept what Sri Ramakrishna was telling, like other devotees. He was going on putting his argument, and Sri Ramakrishna, that's very interesting to see, he was going on trying to convince him. Sri Ramakrishna was speaking from the viewpoint of pure spirituality, no materialistic views, no materialistic attachment, expression, but the Bankim was completely different. His point of view were almost opposite to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, but the conversation was going on. Master Mahasaya has recorded those, and people were enjoying. They were trying to understand, and it is good that Bankim was arguing in that manner. We came to know from Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna what is pure spirituality, and when one wants to realize God truly, wants to love God, wants to see God, what one should do. Now let us continue. When Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, the last class, in the last Wednesday, we discussed that Sri Ramakrishna, naturally, the Hindus, they believe the different the birth, reincarnation. So he was mentioning about that. The Bankim was not that way very interested. So when Sri Ramakrishna said, when a man dies after attaining knowledge, he doesn't have to go to another plane of existence. He isn't born again. Then he gave the example of a boiled seed. Of course, everyone knows if you boil a seed, then if you even sow that, it won't sprout. But if you are not doing that, it may sprout. That means, if you have realized the Brahman, the Atma Jnana, if you have realized the God, then you need not to go to another birth. But if you have the desire of the worldly enjoyment, then only you will take birth. So this is what is happening. But the Bankim, he said, sir, neither does a weed serve the purpose of a tree. Now, it was not related. What Sri Ramakrishna was mentioning, we can understand very clearly, that when there is no karma, the karma comes from desire, some wishes, and when that is not there, and obviously when one has realized the truth, this world that we see is nothing but like a mirage, and we cannot do anything in this world, it will continue like this, that this is the spiritual way. But the people who have not gone to that, what will do? So Bankim is arguing on behalf of those people, and the purpose of a tree and the purpose of a weed are totally different. Sri Ramakrishna immediately, this all we read and discussed in the last class, he said, what is this? Analogy is one-sided. When you are giving the example, you should understand that you are going to support your statement. Then only you should. The boiled seed, which is not going to sprout, as if a realized soul is not going to take birth again. That is very clear. The way why you are talking about or mentioning about the weed and the tree, it has no connection over here. Sri Ramakrishna gave the strong argument, and I said the same thing to Keshav. Then he is continuing. Sir, is there an afterlife? He asked. The Keshav asked. Then the Sri Ramakrishna gave another example to make him understand very easily. So what is that? That if you, our potters, they are making the things of the clay and put it before the sun, and sometimes they will burn it, hard burn. So that is also there. Soft also are there. Suppose it breaks. Maybe an animal will run on that and breaking this. What the potter will do, this is important. Those pots which are hard burned, the potter will throw them away. Why? He cannot recycle it. He cannot reuse it. But the other soft thing, even if it is broken, he will keep mixed with water again on the wheel. The same way, again Sri Ramakrishna coming to that point, if you have already realized God or realized the Atman, it is like the hard burned pots. After the death, no question of returning back to the circle of birth and death. So this is very clear. So Bankim is arguing. Now here Sri Ramakrishna, after giving this, God, then Sri Ramakrishna again, and always he completes the whole. So he is telling, God keeps some Gyanis in the world of Maya to be the teachers of men. Now sometimes some people, and he is giving the example that the Shukadeva and Shankaracharya. The Shukadeva, Shankara, they are very famous, the monks, sannyasis, renouncers. So this Shukadeva and Shankara, they were traveling, they were leaving, they didn't give up their body. Sri Ramakrishna himself, it is there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why these? Because Sri Ramakrishna never mentioned Chaitanya, he mentioned about the Shukadeva and Shankara. Why? They are acharyas, they are teachers, they are not avatars in that sense. So Sri Ramakrishna, when he is mentioning the Shukadeva, he is a teacher, he is going and teaching the truth. Here we find Shankara also giving the all this, how the people should understand. So that is what Shankara, he gave the explanation, etc. So they are the teachers. If they are teachers, so but they are realized souls. When they are realized souls, but still leaving, why? The Sri Ramakrishna says, God's will. He keeps them. Though they were fully baked, though they were realized, but still they have taken the birth, they were still leaving for the betterment of the people. So Sri Ramakrishna completed that. Then he is asking that way. To Bankim smiling, well, what do you say about man's duties? So today's our topic is, what is man's duty? I quote from here. Twice Sri Ramakrishna asked it. And once Bankim is giving the answer, and second time Sri Ramakrishna is giving the answer. That's very interesting. Then Bankim is giving the answer. See, from the point of view of the very, very worldly people, and he is telling, if you ask me about them, I should say they are eating, sleeping, and sex life. Sri Ramakrishna never could expect this type of answer. So he is telling sharply, friends, we should understand that society. Apparently Sri Ramakrishna was no one in that society. He was not that way educated, he was not having any money, he was just an ordinary priest. But look at the courage of the holy people. They don't bother. They are always trying to tell the truth. and truth on the face of even in the fear. Bankim was the deputy magistrate. Even then, Sri Ramakrishna, very straightway, he said, you are very saucy. What you do day and night comes out through your mouth. A man belches what he eats. If he eats radish, he belches radish. If he eats green coconut, he belches green coconut. By constantly thinking of the worldly things, a man becomes calculating and deceitful. On the other hand, he becomes guileless by thinking of God. A man who has seen God will never say what you have just said. What will a Pandit's scholarship profit him if he does not think of God and has no discrimination and renunciation? Of what use is erudition if the mind dwells on lust and gold? Very clear viewpoint of a spiritual person. Completely bogged down in worldly things and thinking that this world and its power and physical comfort and appreciation from the so-called society and all these things are great things, they will never understand. They will never understand the spirituality, God, love. They may go to temple, but for their own benefit, that they will go and pray to the God and offer the gold and costly things to God, and in exchange they will try to get some benefit from the God. Oh God, protect me, give me success, and all these things. So their mentality are completely different. And Sri Ramakrishna, the God himself, he is teaching the spirituality, and he is completely 100%, more than 100%, he is sure, like any rishis of the old, that this world is purely temporary. When I give this example again and again to remind me and also to tell our devotees that when the children are playing with the dolls, that is very real for them. And for the grown-ups, what is that? Just the child's play, nothing else. Nothing else. If some doll is breaking and the child is crying, he is dead, is not eating, not having this, not having that, we all laugh. And don't worry, things will be all right, like that we say. Why? Because we are convinced that that is not the real thing. The same way, those who have realized God or the Ishvara avatars, they look at us when we think the worldly respect and these pleasures and the money and these and that, so-called power, all that is, as we look at the child's game, they look at us in the same manner. So this is what exactly Sri Ramakrishna is telling, and he was telling us because you were bogged down into this and you are constantly belching like that, one should not say like that. Then Sri Ramakrishna, when he was talking like this, there was dead silence. Other people, the devotees who were there, they understood. Sri Ramakrishna, very forcefully he said that. Sri Ramakrishna continued, but like the swan are those who think of God, who pray day and night to get rid of their attachment to worldly things and their love for lust and gold, who do not enjoy anything except the nectar of the lotus feet of the Lord, who do not enjoy anything except the nectar, and to whom worldly pleasures taste bitter. So this is a pure truth from the spiritual point of view. And he mentioned about the swan. It is all the time floating on the water, but the water cannot make it wet. So that is the swan. Sri Ramakrishna is praising why? It is that Paramahamsa. That is the concept of our scripture, the Paramahamsa. When the Lord Vishnu appeared before the sun brothers, in the Bhagavata it is there, he appeared in the form of a swan. So it is very the holy for the Hindus. That this swan he is telling. So it is with the genuine devotees. They go toward God alone. They seek nothing else. They enjoy nothing else. He was telling it, teaching it. Everybody was quiet, silent. Then Sri Ramakrishna, as if he came down and then, like a loving father, tenderly to Bankim, please don't take offense at my words. Bankim said, I haven't come here to hear sweet things. He is continuing in his own way. Then again the Sri Ramakrishna is telling to Bankim, the last and goal alone is the world. That alone is Maya. Because of it, you cannot see or think of God. Lust means desire. And desire, the strong desire to enjoy, and to satisfy the desire we need. Gold means the wealth, the money. The Sri Ramakrishna again and again using these two words, and the last and gold, the desire, and to satisfy the desire, money. So to earn money, you have to work, you have to do business, you have to do this. So again another type of desire will come, again you have to earn money. It goes on, non-stop. Then after you complete that, then you start thinking about your children. Oh, what they will do. So I have to keep lot of wealth so that they can enjoy that. And again, the children's children, what they will do. It goes on and on. The desire never ends. The spiritual people, they understand it. The Sri Ramakrishna mentioning that. And Sri Ramakrishna is telling, this is the world. What is world? Nama and Rupa, name and form. This Nama and Rupa, the name and form, means desire, and to satisfy the desire, gold or the wealth. After the birth of one or two children, husband and wife should live as a brother and sister and talk only of God. This is the teaching for the worldly people. Why the desire should be controlled by this way. Then both their minds will be drawn to God, and the wife will be a help to the husband on the path of spirituality. None can taste divine bliss without giving up the animal feeling. A devotee should pray to God to help him to get rid of this feeling. It must be a sincere prayer. That this is the very important word, because sometimes so many desires crops up in our mind. It is though we are practicing meditation, taking the holy name of God, but still the moment you stop and immediately this type of thoughts are coming. Like the hyacinths, if you remove the hyacinths from the top of the water, it's a very clean, neat water. But leave it, again it come and cover the water. So our desires are all around, like a pond. The mind is covered with desire. If you remove the desire with the help of the God's name, comes. So where from the desire is coming? From the Maya. Who is the master of the Maya? God. So that's why we have to go to God and request Him, pray to Him. Please remove your Maya. so that I can see you. So the tranquil mind, the mind free from all desires, and there the reflection of God is very clear, and we can see God. Even we can talk to God. We can be in the company of God, and that is so joyful. The life is full with that. And that is the reason all the religions and the scriptures, they are talking about this. Otherwise, the world is there, it gives us joy, some little pleasure, but then so much of misery. If not, the famous people, maybe the actor, actresses, who were the idol for so many young hearts, what happened to them that they commit suicide? Why? They were successful, physically beautiful, and they were having a lot of money, they were enjoying everything. Then what happens to them? If we go to this question, we will find that this world can never give us the permanent joy and happiness and satisfaction. So that Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, who the God who has taken the human form to establish dharma, the religion, and what is that religion? Reminding us again and again about the truth. And the truth is God alone is there, and the world is nothing but illusory. So he is praying, and we should pray to God. He is teaching, because the desires are there, and because of the desire, a mind is turmoil. Go to God, pray to God, and with the blessings of God, desires will go away. God is our inner controller. He will certainly listen to our prayer if it is sincere. That God is our inner controller, Govinda. So he is there inside. And if we pray to God, he will surely listen. And who is telling this? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. There cannot be have any doubt. The sincere prayer, whatever the problem it may be, if we sincerely pray to God, and surely it will be solved. And gold sitting on the bank of the Ganges below the Panchavati, I used to say. That's Sri Ramakrishna now is giving his experience. Rupee is clay, and the clay is rupee. This is the taka mati, mati taka, he said in Bengali, and threw both into the Ganges. Sri Ramakrishna did that. Why? They are equal. The world that we see is nothing but the earth. This is we can throw it. No one is carrying a lump of earth inside the pocket and exchanging it somewhere. It's the gold only. So what is this gold? Just like this for a spiritual person. Now listen to the Bankim. And the Bankim is thinking from a different perspective, from different point of view. What he is thinking? Indeed, money is clay. Sir, if you have a few pennies, you can help the poor. If money is clay, then a man cannot give in charity or do good to others. We can understand the viewpoint of the Bankim Chandra. He was not an ordinary person. He was an educated person, well-established person, a deputy magistrate. But even then, he could not understand the subtlety of the spirituality. The viewpoint that Sri Ramakrishna was expressing, this is the problem. Sometimes people think that we are educated, we are having so many certificates, and whatever we say that is true, we can analyze, but the spirituality is completely different thing. The conception of the spirituality, the God and the divine life is completely different thing than the world. As long as the world is very important in your mind, you can never understand it. The Bankim, when Sri Ramakrishna told a great word that is the inspiration for the spiritual seekers and for the people like the Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, he said, indeed, money is clay. Then Sri Ramakrishna to Bankim, charity, doing good, how dare you say you can do good to others? Now, we can understand two of them sitting face to face. One is speaking from the point of view of the spirituality, pure spirituality, where this world has no importance. Another, he is speaking from the pure materialistic point of view, and where spirituality has no value, value is of the world. So Bankim's viewpoint is from this side, from the materialistic point, Sri Ramakrishna from the spiritual point. And Sri Ramakrishna is telling charity, doing good, can do good to others. Man starts above so much, but if one pours foul water into the mouth when he is asleep, he doesn't even know it. His mouth overflows with it. And the proud man, when he is sleeping, if the foul water pours, then that Sri Ramakrishna is telling, where are his boasting, his vanity, his pride? So we don't know. We talk about so much about our ego and I am so and so, and suppose you are sleeping or you become unconscious, then what will happen to you? Anything. Where will be that ego? So Sri Ramakrishna pointed to that. A sannyasi must give up lust and gold. He cannot accept it any more. One must not swallow one's own spit. When a sannyasi gives something to another, he knows that it is not himself who gives. Kindness belongs to God alone. How can a man lay claim to it? Charity depends on the will of Rama. A true sannyasi renounces gold and lust and gold both mentally and outwardly. He who eats no molasses must not even keep molasses about. If he does and yet tells others not to eat, a householder of course needs money, for he has a wife and children. He should save up to feed them. They say that the bird and the sannyasi should not provide for the future, but the mother bird brings food in her mouth for her chicks, so she too provides. A householder needs money. He has to support his family. If a householder is a genuine devotee, he performs his duty without attachment. He surrenders the fruit of his work to God. His gain or loss, his pleasure or pain, the day and the night, he prays for devotion and for nothing else. This is called motiveless work. The performance of the duty without attachment. He too must do all his work in the spirit of detachment, but he has no worldly duties to attain to like a householder. Friends, when Sri Ramakrishna is talking with the Bankim Chandra, and he is, whatever the Bankim is thinking, that is okay. But for us, those who like to develop our spiritual life, sannyasi or householder, to what Sri Ramakrishna is teaching? Detachment. The householder should be alert about his duty. What is his duty? To look after his family. And to look after his family, he needs money. So he should earn money. He should save money. And he, by that way, he should perform his own duty. And for a sannyasi, he doesn't need those things, but he needs detachment. Sri Ramakrishna bringing the detachment for the householders also. He is telling, when you are performing that, along with that, if you have the detachment, then both of you will get the liberation. Sannyasi, performing his duties without any detachment, not saving for himself because he don't have the responsibility of a family. So whatever he is doing with a detached mind. Then, and the householder is also doing the same thing, but at the same time, he should keep something as a reserve to support his family. But the work and everything should be dedicated to God and should be performed in a detached mind, detached way. Now Sri Ramakrishna is teaching. If a householder gives in charity in a spirit of detachment, he is really doing good to himself. This again, as Swami Vivekananda said, by donating or helping others, we are not helping others, we are helping ourselves. This is really very important. How it is? Because when we are giving and giving with a mind of detachment, or thinking that I am going to serve my living gods and goddesses, my spiritual life is becoming strong, and that is helping me ultimately. The Sri Ramakrishna is also saying the same thing. If a householder gives in charity in a spirit of detachment, he is really doing good to himself and not to others. It is God alone that he serves. God who dwells in all beings. And when he serves God, he is really doing good to himself and not to others. Sri Ramakrishna is repeating again and again. The moment we think that we are serving others, helping others, ego will come. As the Bankim, he said, if you have money, if you have gold, then you can help others. In connection with that, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, helping others is good, but it should be done with a detached way. Who am I to help others? It is God only has given me the money and also the desire to help others. I am doing that. But when I am giving or trying to so-called helping others, I should say I am serving the living gods and goddesses. That is pure karma yoga. If a man thus serves God through all being, not through men alone, but through animals and other living beings as well, if he doesn't seek name and fame or heaven after death, if he doesn't seek any return from those he serves, if he can carry on his work of service in this spirit, then he performs truly selfless work, work without attachment. Through such selfless work, he does what is called karma yoga. This too is a way to realize God, but it is very difficult. Why, when we are doing anything, immediately the ego comes. But we don't understand that. Whatever little that we do, if we can do with a completely free from ego, oh, I am so blessed that I can do it. That I am getting this opportunity to do, that gives the satisfaction in the mind. And that satisfaction always makes the mind so happy, you don't bother about praising or appreciation or any other comfort. I knew in Brahmachari, we were also the novices. He was almost of the same age and the same group, but for some reason, he was not accepted by the order because he was having some physical problem, and the Ramakrishna mission in the beginning, when you are joining, they will check up and say if you have any ailments, any physical problem, because we come to serve, so obviously the health should be all right. The healthy body they accept. That boy was not, but he was staying in the ashrama. I saw him, how wonderful he was. Must be in his previous birth he did a lot of tapasya. So when he was not accepted in the organization, he was not unhappy at all. Rather he was telling, look at me. The ashrama authority didn't ask me to leave. They have given me the permission to stay. It was given to him as because he was not a monastic. So he was doing as a volunteer. He was staying over there, putting on the dress like a brahmachari and helping little this thing and that thing. And I have seen when he will be, some senior will ask him, go and prepare a few cups of tea and bring and serve over here. He will go to the kitchen, he will boil the water, and while doing all this, he will be sitting and doing the japa, maybe for 2-3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, the water is boiling. So he will sit over there on a stool and then taking the name of God. When it is done, again he will prepare the tea with a smiling face, he will serve. And it was really something to learn from him. So calm, so composed, so quiet. While we were getting all the benefits of a brahmachari because we were accepted as a brahmachari, he was not, though he joined together with us, we all together, but he was so happy. Then ultimately our authority, they were happy with him, accepted him and legally. They told whatever, he is a very good soul. So he was accepted in the Ramakrishna order as a brahmachari. And so far I can remember the year he got the sannyas or before that, suddenly he passed away. But all through the life, he was so satisfied. He was like a pure karma yogi. He was to do all those things, at the same time completely detached. I have seen another brahmachari who was junior than us, and he was doing everything. He was a very ardent devotee of Lord Shiva, and he was posted in Kashi, and he was so happy. And at the 2 o'clock or 2:30 early morning, he will get up, go and bathe and bring water and bathe the Shiva and come back singing the name of God and doing all other. Then he developed something, I think cancer, and he was supposed to die. I went to see him, but he was so happy. There's no fear at all. Then, and I told that the doctors have already said that you are going to die within this many months. Are you not afraid? So Swamiji, the day I was born, it was fixed that I am going to die. Maybe a little early. But why should I be afraid? The only thing that I could not finish my tapasya in this life. Again I have to come and take birth and finish my tapasya. So that is, I am praying to Lord Shiva and praying to Shiva that I should be with him all the time. So that is my prayer and nothing else. So this is called courage, understanding the religious, the truth, the tremendous courage, not at all afraid of death. As Rabindranath Tagore, many of you must be knowing, when he said, he wrote, the marana re tuhu momo shyamo shaman. O death, you are just like my God. Shama means the Krishna. You are like my beloved Krishna. I am not afraid of you. Rather, I love you because you are breaking this body and mind. I am going to mix with my God. That is the unique conception of the spirituality. And Sri Ramakrishna here he mentioned the true devotion, and this little para that we have just read, Karma Yoga he mentioned. Through the Karma Yoga, that too is a way to realize God. The Karma Yoga is very difficult because the ego may come. But if one can remove that ego, and whatever little work they are doing, if they are dedicating it to God and very happy, all the time meditating and thinking that God is looking at us when we are working, that will be sufficient for the spiritual practice. Now, Sri Ramakrishna, I am continuing, reading from here. Therefore, I say, he who works in such a detached spirit, who is kind and charitable, benefits only himself. Helping others, doing good to others, this is the work of God alone, who for man has created the sun and the moon, father and mother, fruits, flowers and the corn. The love that you see in the parents is God's love. He has given it to them to preserve His creation. The compassion that you see in the kind-hearted is God's compassion. He has given it to them to protect the helpless. Whether you are charitable or not, He will have His work done somehow or other. Nothing can stop His work. This is the truth. We think that we are helping the world. We think that we are helping doing this and that. Nothing. That's why when the Arjuna, he was telling to Sri Krishna, no, I won't fight because this is not good. Why should I kill my kith and kin? Mayoi vaite nihata purvameva nimitta matra bhavasabhya sachin. The Lord said to convince him that it has already been done. Now I have given you an opportunity to do it as a Kshatriya hero. You should do it. That's all. And if you don't do it, somebody else will do. Swami Vivekananda also mentioned, and we should remember again and again, those who are following the ideology of Sri Ramakrishna Vivekananda, whatever opportunity that we get to do something, God has given us. And we should accept in that way. Oh, so much of work the God has given, why should I do? Or this type of humble work that He has given. Whatever it has come, I should perform and with great devotion and with best attention and perform with perfection, and then we'll say, God, thank you that you gave me the opportunity to serve you. And that is the way slowly, slowly God will take all your work. And one day, as because for everything, every moment we are thinking of God only while working. Why I am so blessed, God has chosen me to do this work. Anyone He could choose. But I have been chosen. Swami Vivekananda was one day he met Ma Saradamani Devi, and naturally people, they were talking very highly about him. He was so successful in America. But he was a very, very humble person. He went to Ma Saradamani Devi and said, Mother, like me, you will get millions of sons. Vivekananda is telling, like me, like Swami Vivekananda, oh Mother, you will have millions of sons. But one thing I know it very sure, I will never get a mother like you. You are peerless. So this is humbleness without ego. All that we do, all the success that comes is nothing but the God's grace. One should be very humble. And here, as the Sri Ramakrishna is giving the whole page we will read, he is talking about the Karma Yoga to make our Bankim Chand understand that with the money we can help, that the conception that is not true. Even the rich people, they will never do anything. If you look at the all around you, the millions and billions of the people, they are having so much of money, but the poor people, the workers, they are going on food because they don't have anything to stay, no food, no job, not even money to spend for a train ticket. But the rich people, they will look at it and they will think, if we spend $10,000, then it will be reduced from our budget, and these and so much of calculation they will do. But if there is an opportunity for a throwing of the party, the $50,000 and the $100,000, without not thinking anything, that they will spend. And what actually they will do? Wasting and nothing else. They think, oh, the friends will remember them and they have fed nicely, and they will be nothing and nothing and nothing. We don't understand this. And one thing more, God is also very choosy. If a man is very egoistic and he doesn't like to spend for the benefit of others, God doesn't like to accept his money too. That is also true. So the humble person only can donate. When some people they donate for the true cause. It is only because the God wants to take their money. Otherwise, they won't be able to do that. What then is man's duty? The second, again, Sri Ramakrishna is repeating the same question. He asks the question to the Bankim, and when the Bankim gives the answer, he became very angry. Then afterwards, again, after telling all these things, what then is man's duty? Now this time, he is not waiting for the answer, he is giving the answer. The Bhagavan is telling, what else can it be? It is just to take refuge in God and to pray to Him with a yearning heart for His vision. What is the duty of a person? A man's duty means the duty of a person. It is only to pray to God, to take refuge in Him, having faith in that. Shambhu said to me, Shambhu Babu was a very rich man, a landlord, it is my desire to build a large number of hospitals and dispensaries. Thus I can do much good to the poor. This is the point. The desire to do good to others is okay. I like to build hospitals and dispensary. Up to this it was good. But the second line when he is telling, thus I can do much good to the poor. Sri Ramakrishna immediately rectifying him. He is telling, I said to him, yes, that is not bad if you can do it in a detached spirit. I am going to help, no, in a detached spirit is. But to be detached is very difficult unless you sincerely love God. And further, if you entangle yourself in many activities, you will be attached to them in a way unknown to yourself. You may think you have no motive behind your work, but perhaps there has been grown a desire for fame and the advertising of your name. Then again, if you are entangled in too many activities, the pressure of them will make you forget God. I also said to him, Shambhu, let me ask you one thing. If God appears before you, will you want Him or a number of hospitals and dispensaries? If one realizes God, one doesn't enjoy anything else. Has tasted syrup of sugar candy cannot enjoy to a drink made from common tarsals, molasses, we can say. So this is what about the karma yoga. Swami Vivekananda has a complete book about the karma yoga. Shambhu, the first line was very appreciating that I like to build, because he was having the money, he could spend in that way. I will be able to help. That is Ramakrishna. He said one should not think in that way. Friends, those who are in Calcutta or associated with the Ramakrishna mission, you must have heard the name of Swami Dayananda ji. He was the disciple of Ma Sharadamani Devi. He came to America to spread Vedanta, but then seeing the wonderful, very good services in the hospitals, so he went back to India again to start a maternity hospital. His sister passed away, perhaps so far I know, I may be wrong, and at a time of giving the childbirth. So that he was suffering. Why? Then so many young mothers in those days, no good hospitals were there in India. So even before the independence, so the Swami went back. So when he came to America, India was a really a very poor country. So now, leaving America, the life of comfort, and so to say, he went back to India with a desire to start a maternity hospital so that the mothers can be saved. He learned a lot about it. Then he approached the headquarters of our Belur Math. The Belur Math was wondering, what is it? If you start the hospital, then how the work will continue? Who are going over there? Because as a monk, you have to be all the time with the ladies, and that is not possible. So there was a lot of argument. Then finally, the Belur Math authorities said, and very interestingly, they were two brothers, and one was the General Secretary, the administrative head, and the young brother, Dayananda ji, he was requesting his brother, who was the General Secretary, to give him the permission. Ultimately, the permission was given by the trustees to start an hospital, but with a condition that you should be there all through. After a few days, when the work will start, and you will say, oh no, I am not liking it, you cannot leave, you cannot go away. You have to give the word that you will continue. He gave that. And slowly, those who are near in Calcutta, is one of the very famous hospital, the huge hospital, and very good system over there for the maternity section, the nurses training, and so many. Now it is a huge, and he started with some tin shed, 1 or 2 rooms. So that humble beginning, I have seen that Swami. He was then retired. Offer was given to him, I heard. We were all young at that time. I heard that offer was given that you should become the General Secretary of the Ramakrishna Order. He refused. No, I have given the word that I will continue till my death over here, so I won't leave. So this is called Karma Yogi. When he retired, the young Swamis came, they took the church, and they were maintaining. Naturally, you will feel they are not working in my way. But he won't say anything. He was there, present over there. but at the same time completely detached. The doctors and the nurses sometimes used to come to him to complain against the new administration, but he would say, no, it is not that you should not come to me about this. I have resigned, so it is not me to give any decision. He was there, but at the same time, he will never ever get entangled to any daily activities. This is called karma yogis. There are many like this. So they have worked, not that we should not work, we should do, but with the attitude that we are serving God. With an attitude that we are humble, we got the opportunity to serve God. So that is what Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling. So the same question that he asked Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay got the answer. The worldly things that Bankim Chandra was in that he said like that. But Sri Ramakrishna is giving us the teaching that we should not say that I am going to help the people. That is the way of egoistic way of telling. Rather, we should say, I am humble that I got the opportunity to serve the people. Those who build hospitals and dispensaries and get pleasure from that are no doubt good people, but they are of a different type. He who is a real devotee of God seeks nothing but God. If he finds himself entangled in too much work, he earnestly prays, Lord, be gracious and reduce my work, my mind, which should think of Thee day and night, has been wasting its power. It thinks of worldly things alone. Pure soul devotees are in a class by themselves. You cannot have real love of God unless you know that God alone is real and all else illusory. You cannot have real love of God unless you know that the world is impermanent, only of 2 days' existence, while its creator alone is real and eternal. This is the ultimate teaching of our scripture and nothing else. The Brahman alone exists, the God alone exists, and this world that we see is so temporary. And why we are wasting our time thinking that we should do this and we should do that? If we are rectifying ourselves, there may be doubts, then shall we not do good to the world? Can we really do good to the world? We may, for some time, reduce some problems, but again it will come up. Again that will be like that. If one part of the world is becoming good, another part will be suffering, another part will be... So this is constantly like the rheumatism. Sometimes it is in the shoulder, sometimes it is in the waist, sometimes it is in the knee, but in the body constantly changing and giving us the pain. So what we should do? We should try our best to do good to others with an attitude that I am serving the living God, not that I am doing good to Him. Rather, I am blessed that I got the opportunity to serve the God. Friends, we will study again. We will continue the conversation between this Sri Ramakrishna and our Bankim Chandra, the very interesting way they are talking, and we will continue. And again, after so much, we will hear how Bankim is reacting. So that is very interesting. So Sri Ramakrishna is not leaving his own point, and Bankim is also not leaving. But in between, we should take which is the best thing that Sri Ramakrishna is teaching to us. So now, if there are any question.
So there is one question, Maharaj, is from Maya surrounds us from every corner, can we get rid of Maya by praying?
Of course. As Dushmanta Babu, as I told you, that Maya is the power of God, and now it binds us. And if we go to God and say, "O Lord, please help me from your Maya," then God can help us. It is like a fearful dog barking at me, and I can request the owner of the dog, "So can you please tame this dog, because I am new, the dog is barking, I am afraid." Then the owner will make a sound, immediately dog will leave me and will be very tame. Similarly, if we go to God and pray, and God will ask the Maya, "Hey, don't make him afraid, it is okay. We'll be free."
The second question is from Anandita. She is asking, Pranam Maharaj, where is Anandaji?
When?
And where?
Where? This is in Calcutta. That's called near Kalighat. There's a very famous road. If you search the Ramakrishna Mission Shiva Pratishthan and in Calcutta, immediately you will get it in the Google. And it's a very famous. Thank you, friends. Let us now chant from the Sri Ramakrishna Pranama Mantra, and we conclude. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram paramishamidyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namamaha. Om Shanti Shanti Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.